something, yo. Oh, I feel do something, yo. Oh, I feel do something, yo.
Hey, hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make agbada. Okay, so I know I've bought this tutorial before as a pattern drafting tutorial, so if you do not have any idea how to cut, I'll be leaving the link below this video. You can go ahead and download the tutorial to learn how to cut agbada. But today I'm going to be showing you how to sew it, and this technique can also be used for both male and female agbada. So just sit back, relax, and get your sewing gear on lock, and let's do this. Okay, so the things you're going to need for your agbada are, of course, your fabric of choice. Now I'm using Ankara to make my agbada because I do not have linen or brocade, which I usually use to make agbada for people. So brocade, linen are the popular fabrics that are used for agbada. So if you want to make agbada for yourself or for your clients, those are the kind of fabrics you go for. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to be using Ankara to explain how to make an agbada. I'm also going to be using about 3 yards of the fabric. Now, to determine the number of fabrics, the amount of fabric you're going to use for your agbada, I'll be leaving the link below, which will forward you to an earlier or a previous tutorial I've treated on how to determine the amount of fabrics you need for any design, any fabric that you want to make. Now the next thing we're going to need is, of course, your facing. Now I'm using a facing because my Ankara is already a pattern fabric. Now usually when making agbada for men or for women alike, and when using the recommended fabrics like linen or brocade, these fabrics usually come in solid color. So because of that, these fabrics can be taken for embroidering, or what is popularly known as knitting in Nigeria, where designs are created at the neckline. Okay, you would see designs at the neckline and at the chest region or at the pocket region. So most agbada come with such designs or embroidering, but because I'm not doing any of that, because after all my Ankara fabric is already full of patterns and designs, I'm simply going to be using this solid color facing to design the neckline of my agbada. Now this facing is simply made from a solid color fabric, and the gum stain was attached, or what is known as interfacing was attached, press ironed at the wrong side of the fabric, and you can see how sturdy it is. Okay, so next thing you're going to need is, of course, the measurement or body statistics of your customer or client or yourself. Since we're going to be doing freehand cutting of how to make this agbada, it's essential that we have the following measurements. 1, shoulder to shoulder. This is where you measure from one side of your shoulders across the neck to the other side of your shoulder. And for my statistics, I'm using about 19 to 20 inches actually. Then the sleeve length, this is the distance between the end point of your shoulder to your wrist. Okay, so measure the distance between your shoulder and your wrist. Then the next thing you're going to need is your agbada length, how long you want your agbada to be. Some people put it before the knee, some put it after the knee, some put it at the ankle. It all depends on how long you want your agbada to be. Usually it's about 3 to 4 inches past the knee. So when I measured myself from the shoulder to that point, it's about 42 inches, right? So I'll simply be adding 2 inches allowance for folding, that's all. So which will give us about 44 inches. I'll just make it 45. Okay, the next measurement you're going to need is your back, or rather known as the nape. Unlike the nape where you measure simply from the base of your neck at the back to the bottom of your waist, we measure from the bottom of our neck to the distance of our agbada, as in where you want it to be, which can still be around about 45 inches or 42 inches. That depends depends on your measurements. Mine is, I'm going to plainly leave it at 45 inches. Okay, so now we've established the body statistics we're going to be using. The next thing you will need for your agbada is pins, of course. And this is my pin and my pin cushion, my favorite sewing tools, like I always say. Then my thread cutter, then my tailor strap is right in here. Okay, then your scissors, your sewing machine, your pressing iron, and of course electricity. Now with all that's fully established, let's get down to the tutorial. So moving on, the first thing we're going to do is fold our fabric. So you can see just once, fold once, so you can see the folded end of my fabric, and you can see the folding right here. Now the total length of my fabric, you measure from this end to the end to ensure that you get the total length of your fabric. Now I'm going to measure mine so we know how long my fabric is. I think it's about 45 standard length of most fabric. I think it's about 45. So I'm gonna measure. Cut off this border because I don't need it. Now my length, like I already explained, for my nape, because we're gonna be cutting out the back measurement first. So we're going to be using the shoulder to shoulder length, and we're going to be width, and we're going to be using the full length. Like I already explained, my shoulder to shoulder length is about 20 inches. Okay, so 20 inches plus 1, 20 inches plus 1, so I'm going to measure with my tape. 20 plus, you can see right here it's 20, so I'm going to be folding a bit again. Okay, that's 20. I'm going to be adding 1 inch to my 20 inches to make it 21. Okay, so that one is going to serve as my seam allowance. So let's measure again to be sure we have our 21, and you can see that I hope you can see that I have my 21 inches right here. I'll put this up in the middle. 21 inch. Let's see. 21. 21. 21. Okay, so now we've measured to ensure that our fabric is 21 inches by width. We've also measured that our fabric is 45 inches. Like I said, my length for my agbada is 43 inches, so I'm adding 2 inches to make it 45 inches. The 2 inches will serve for folding allowance. So now that we've ensured that our shoulder to shoulder width is 21, we're going to cut this out, and we are going to cut our folding out. Now we used, remember we used our back measurement for our shoulder to shoulder as our waist, then our back length for our Agbada. Okay, so you can see it's now cut out Agbada. So I'm going to cut out this folded end. I'm going to cut it out as well. So after cutting through the folded end, as you can see, we now have two pieces. One will serve as our front and the other as the back of our Agbada. The other one will serve as the front of our Agbada. The other will serve as the back of our Agbada. So now we'll now proceed to cut out our sleeves. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is cut out our sleeve. Okay, so from my measurements, my sleeve is about 18 inches. 18 inches plus 18.5 inches, I beg your pardon. 18.5 inches plus 1 inch for stitch and seam allowance. We'll have for stitch and folding allowance, we'll have 19.5 inches. So I'm going to measure 19.5 inches. Don't forget to also fold your fabric just like we did in the first. Don't forget that we're trying to measure out the width of the sleeve. Okay, so 19.5. Okay, so I'm going to mark right here. Seems that's exactly what I have right here. 19.5. Okay, so I'm going to measure out. Make sure you measure and mark, because sometimes your fabric might not be even. So measuring all the sides would help you get an even line of your fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so I'm also going to cut this off. Then I'm also going to cut the folded end. So now we've done that, we're going to repeat this process for the other sleeve. You cut it out the same, and then I'll show you what next to do. So the next thing we are going to do is join our front pieces and our back pieces. You can see it right here. This is my back piece and this is my front piece, boldly written on the fabrics. Okay, now I have to write it out so that I don't mix them up with the sleeves. Okay, that is why I had to write them out. So you put them together, right side facing each other, and join the two pieces together at the width section using the flat fed seam finishing. Because of how long that term is, or I usually just call it a French seam finishing, so I'll be using the French in quotes seam finishing to join these two pieces of fabric together. If you don't know how to join two fabrics together and finish the seam using the French seam finishing method, you can go straight to our Instagram page at TheQEffectz with a Z at the end. Okay, and there's a tutorial, a video tutorial on how to do that. It's a perfect way of finishing your seam. So I'm going to join the two pieces of fabric together, the back and the front together, using that method of seam finishing. And I'm also going to do the same to my sleeves. Okay, both sleeves, both the right and the left sleeve, I'm going to join the two pieces together using the same method of seam finishing, and at the end of the day you will see how neat our pieces are going to be. Okay, so after joining and locking your seam using the French seam finishing method, you can see how our seam looks at the wrong side. When you turn it right side up, you can see how it looks right side up, completely closed. You can barely even see it on the fabric. Let me raise this up so you can take a look at it. So you can see it is locked, and wrong side up, you can see how it looks. So now we'll fold our fabric like so. We're gonna fold it vertically. Yeah, that's the word. We're gonna fold it vertically. Like so. Now this is our front piece, okay, as already indicated on the wrong side of our fabric, and that is the back piece. Okay, so usually when done joining the sides of the fabric together, this part of the agbada is taken to an expert in embroidering. Okay, so what they do is that they design the plain colored fabric, like already explained. They design it and create embroidering at the front piece and perhaps also at the back piece. Okay, but I'm not doing any of that. Okay, so I'm going to be using facing. So I want to create my neckline, so I'll simply just take my facing. Okay, by the way, the neckline of the facing is 2 3/4 as width and 3.5 inches as length. Okay, so I'm going to place this on the front part of my fabric, and I'm simply going to trace the neckline. This is similar to what I've already done in our pattern making class. Okay, so if you haven't seen the pattern making tutorial on how to make agbada, you can click on the link below to see it. It's similar to the same tutorial. So I'm just going to mark where the cut ends. Then I'm going to do the same for the back piece. So now that I'm done, I'm simply going to cut it out. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this neckline using my facing. Okay, so the whole point is to put this facing right here at my neckline. Okay, you can see that. Then I'll put the other line like so. So this is the whole point of this. So what I'm first going to do is join my facing together. I'm going to join the back piece together. Okay, just stitch here, and then I'll show you what needs to do. So after joining the facing together, I'm going to open up the seam, okay, and press iron. I'm going to open up the seam like so, and I'll press iron. I'll do the same for the other seam. And then I'll show you what next to do. After press ironing our seams open, I'm going to place my facing on the wrong side of my front piece, and I'm going to start pinning. Okay, just take your pins and pin the neckline to the neckline accordingly. Then seam to seam should match as well. after pinning, I'm going to take this to this sewing machine and stitch. Okay, stitch about 0.25 inch. Okay, stitch round the neckline, and then I'll show you what next to do. So after stitching around the neckline and the is it keyhole they call it, after stitching around, you just go ahead and nip the corners. Nipping around the neckline, we just turn this to the right side, turn our facing to the right side. So turn our facing to the right side. So we'll now take this, fold the edges. You take this to the pressing table. Okay, don't do this without folding, without a pressing iron. So you're gonna press iron the ends of your facing using pressing iron. So I'll go do that now. So after press ironing, you can see how it looks. You see corners are now folded neatly behind. So we'll take this now to the sewing machine and we stitch. Okay, stitch round the facing, and then I'll show you what next to do. Round, you can see how your facing now looks. Okay, you can see it's not attached to your dress. You can see how neatly it looks on the front side. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is attach our sleeve. You place your front piece right side up like so. Then take out one of your sleeve. Then remember we'll lock the seam on one seam, so we'll use this to find okay, so you allow this side to correspond with your seam. Now, when joining these two sides together, you're also going to use the flat fed seam finishing, aka French seam finishing, to join the seam. So we're going to be placing this just like we've been doing, half an inch away from the one below. We're going to be placing this sleeve on top the front and back piece, 0.5 inches below. Okay, so when we're going to stitch using the same method we used to join our sleeves together. So I'll go do that now and then I'll show you what next to do. So after joining, you can see how it looks at the right side after joining your sleeve. Okay, can I see how it looks at the right side? Okay, so you'll repeat the same process for the other sleeve, and then I'll show you what next to do. Okay, so after joining the sleeve, you now go on to fold the bottom of the sleeve. Okay, see this end of your sleeve, you have to fold it. So start from the bottom and I fold once, and then once. I'm doing this so tiny because fold 0.25, then 0.75 inch and just stitch down. So I'm going to stitch from, keep folding till I get to the other end, and I'll do so for the other sleeve. So after folding ends of the sleeve, you can see it on the other side. After folding all the sides of the sleeve, we'll now go down to the bottom of the sleeve. Bottom of the agbada, so we'll try and trim off every excess fabric. You can see right here there is an excess here, so we're going to trim it off so that it will be equal. So when done, fold your agbada into equal halves. Pause at the bottom. Go ahead and measure 2 inches from the bottom. 2 inches from the bottom and mark. Then you measure 10 inches from the end right here and you mark. So we'll take this to the sewing machine, and of course we'll stitch and stop here. We'll do the same for the other side, and then I'll show you what next to do. Here is a closer look of what I was trying to explain. Okay, you can see at the bottom, I measured 2 inches from the bottom of the agbada, and that is from the end to this point is about 10 inches. And we'll do the same for the other side. You can see that. Do the same for the other side. So I'll stitch from that end to this point, and I'll stitch from that end to this point, and then I'll show you what next. Okay, so now you can see that I'm done stitching from the end to this point at about 10 inches. So I'm going to spread over my seam like so, raise it up like so. Then I'm going to open up the seam. Okay, you can take this to the pressing table and press iron if you choose. So I'm going to fold the end of my seam like so, about 0.25, 75 I mean, over the end like so. So I'm going to pin this in place. So I'm going to do it all the way through to the end of this seam. Okay. So when done, the bottom of the agbada will look like this. So you can see the seam and the wrong side. When you turn it over, you can see how it looks, and the right side. So you can see the opening right here. You can see it right here. You can see how it looks at the right side. So that concludes our agbada tutorial. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wear this now and you see how it looks on me. Even though under the guide, you can see the Agbada. So you can see this is the neckline, needs to be placed. So I want to come to still neck direction and see you next time on more sense.
They call me Mr. Coca, Mr. Do something, yo.